what they do to our sisters globally must be documented in our history and taught to our children, to the new cubs, to the new generation that doesn't know the meaning of defeat. So if our eyes are not delighted with the light of victory, our children in faith will take their children in faith to suq al-nikhasa. There's times forgiveness is commanded, and there's times forgiveness is not praiseworthy, and there's fiqh behind each. Allah praised many qualities in the Quran. In a series of verses, He praised many qualities. He praised those who refrain from major sins, those who control their anger, and those who respond to the call of their Lord. And He praised those who have shura. And among the praises in those series is وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَهُمُ الْبَغْيُ هُمْ يَنْتَصِرُونَ. وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَهُمُ الْبَغْيُ هُمْ يَنْتَصِرُونَ. Those who avenge themselves when they're wronged. A quality of praise. There's fiqh behind when it's proper to forgive and when it's not. The verses go on, وَلَمَنِ انْتَصَرَ بَعْدَ ظُلْمِهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَا عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ سَبِيلٍ. وَلَمَنِ انْتَصَرَ بَعْدَ ظُلْمِهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَا عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ سَبِيلٍ. There's no blame on those who defend themselves if they're wronged. When the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam visited the captives under torture and he said, be patient, he didn't forgive. He didn't forget. The same one who told them, اصبروا على ياسر موعدكم الجنة, nearly 10 years, around 10 years after that, with all that went on in his life, he never forgot, he never let it go. Abu Jahl ended up receiving the justice he deserved in the battle of Badr. You would think with all the duties of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam that he may have forgot about it, but he didn't, because this was a priority and a concern. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam never forgot what he did to the captives. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam never forgot what he did to Ammar. When the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam saw his carcass after Badr, he told Ammar, قَدْ قَتَلَ اللَّهُ قَاتِلَ أُمِّكَ. Allah avenged the killer of your mother. To our sisters we say, during your difficult times, and we know they're unbearable, but you must be in the peak of your optimism and confidence and yaqeen in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that the victory is right around the corner. It wasn't a difficulty or hardship that the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam endured, except that the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam was consistently always the most positive, the most optimistic, that victory is right around the corner. When the global coalition united to eliminate Islam off the face of the earth, and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam was helping them build a trench to defend the Muslimin, the globe was at his front yard. He's building a trench to defend the Muslimin. But his confidence and yaqeen in Allah was at an all-time peak. It wasn't only that they're not going to harm us, it's mightier and bigger than that. The hypocrites were saying, we can't go defecate, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is promising that we're going to conquer Persia and Rome. The hope and yaqeen in Allah must be at its peak. In other difficult times, والله ليتمن الله هذا الأمر. والله ليتمن الله هذا الأمر حتى يسير الراكب من صنعاء إلى حضرموت لا يخاف إلا الله أو الذئب على غنمه ولكنكم تستعجلون. This matter is going to prevail until a traveler goes from Sana'a to Hadramaut. And he fears nothing but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and a wolf preying on his sheep. But you're hasty. The violent shakes of trials can only be met by getting nearer and closer to Allah. Once the tests hail on us, we have to accept them and take them with honor and pride. Welcome to the path of Ammar. Welcome to the path of the wife of Fir'aun. Welcome to the path of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam and the messengers. The less of these trials that you have, the less you have of the inheritance of the nubuwwah. We say to our sisters, be patient in the same context that the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Isbiru ala yasir," a context of izzah and hope and confidence in Allah. We talk about sabr and ihtisab combined with husn al-dhan in Allah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will avenge the oppressors who transgress on the Muslimat, the Mu'minat, the Muwahhidat, the Afifat, before the physical hands of the Muwahhideen actually reach them. When all the doors are shut and attachment to means and creation is eliminated and it vanishes, the gates of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open up wider than one can possibly imagine. We must accept the ibtila that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts us through. Everyone's tested. The most noble of those tests are the ones pertaining to Tawheed. When I taught the Tawheed classes, I emphasized ibtila and sabr. Why? What's that got to do with Tawheed, the textual part of Tawheed? Because pure Tawheed and ibtila come conjointly hand in hand. One doesn't recklessly ask for problems, but from the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that they come to one's doorsteps or face. And once they do, one must accept them as firm as al-jibal al-rasiyat, the unshakable steady mountains. That's how one takes them. That's how firm one takes them. Firm in iman in Allah and in the qada and in the qadar. A muwahhid and a muwahhida in this position should see this as forgiveness of sins and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves her, inshallah. We see it as means that she'll be elevated to the rank of Firdaus in a palace whose ceiling is the arsh of Allah, inshallah. The wife of Fir'aun had this dunya and what was in it, but she chose Tawheed. She chose Tawheed even if it came with prison and torture. One word from her could have took her from that torture to the most luxurious life in palaces. But the brightness of Tawheed illuminated her heart. She resisted temptations, threats, and torture, and remained firm and patient. رَبِّ ابْنِ لِي عِنْدَكَ بَيْتًا فِي الْجَنَّةِ. That's all she wanted. There's an Arabic saying that says, choose your neighbor before your house. رَبِّ ابْنِ لِي عِنْدَكَ بَيْتًا فِي الْجَنَّةِ. She said, Ya Allah, رَبِّ ابْنِ لِي عِنْدَكَ. عِنْدَكَ, I want near you, first, near you. Number two, بَيْتًا, a house, a palace. She wanted nearness to Allah, then a palace. She wanted nearness to Allah, then a palace. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about her that she was an example for the believers, male and female, to follow. وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا امْرَأَةَ فِرْعَوْنَ